And I believe we're live. Let's get the mic on here. I hope everyone is able to hear me okay during this little talk we have here. Let's get this straight. Raise this up a little. Okay. Here we are. Yeah, okay, I think we're okay. Get myself comfortable a little bit. Stretch. So I want to welcome you to the Clarity Through Quarantine Challenge Series in association with Miss Abiola Abrams, my beautiful, beautiful empowerment, transformational business coach from the Spiritpreneurs Warrior Sisterhood Business School. And this is the Journey with Jamie series, the quality of life discussions. And this is the Clarity Through Quarantine. I am your Soulwork intuitive, your emotional intelligence specialist, transformational life coach, life purpose and lifestyle strategist for creatives going into creative careers and holistic healing businesses. And today's topic, it's day 6, and today's topic is discernment. Do you have it? Do you know what discernment is? Can you see past things, or do you only see what's in front of you? What is discernment? Discernment is being able to look at a situation or look at a person or thing and be able to look at it with good judgment. What is moral discernment? Moral discernment is the application of knowledge and wisdom, patience, having great understanding about a person, thing, or situation. So do you believe you have discernment? If somebody were to emotionally manipulate you or lie to you, if you're being lied to, do you think you could see it? Would you be able to see past it? Could you see through it? Are you really good at it? Do you have maybe a critical thinking mind, maybe blessed with intuition on top of it? Because I have those both. But I'm not immune to certain things, particularly with people you love. You may give them all the trust in the world, and that might be your downfall because of the closeness you think you have. You don't see it coming because you don't operate on that level. You may operate from a place of trueness and authenticity and loyalty. Therefore, the relationship you're in, the partnership, the friendship, to you, you mirror it towards it, what you are, right? You reflect and project yourself onto it, onto them. So if you were being emotionally manipulated, would you be able to know? You think you could see through it? And if you couldn't at first, how long do you think it would take for you to see it? What would it take? Do you think that you could see past somebody manipulating you emotionally? Even with your sharp critical thinking skills and your sharp intuitive capabilities, do you think you could see? How about the world? Do you think that you have the discernment to see past illusions, things going on in society? Do you? And if not, why? Are you the kind of person that once things are revealed to you, do you go into denial? Or do you accept the harsh truth? These days, it's going to be powerfully important that you utilize this skill. It's very important to have discernment. Without it, it's like you are prey, open to every kind of predator out there. You don't want that. You may end up in a situation where you end up learning how to sharpen that discernment in a way that really shakes you up. It may be that the rug will be pulled right up from under you, and now you have an undeniably insane experience that you now have to accept and deal with that's right before you. A lot of times, these things are what kicks off a existential crisis, a emotional crisis, midlife crisis, spiritual awakening. It's the shock of these moments when the rug is pulled right from under you. You end up in a world that went from one you understood, one that made sense, one that you felt that you knew your place, you felt you knew your role, you felt that you knew who you were, you felt that you thought you knew who the person was you were with, or you thought the situation in your life was one that you had a good grip on, when in fact none of it was the case. Do you think your discernment is strong enough that you may be able to bypass such incredible situations that happen to the best of us? And when it does, do you retreat and hide and pretend that you didn't just see what you just saw? Do you curl up in a ball somewhere and cry for days and hide from the world while you try to figure out what has just happened, to pick up the pieces of your life, which is just now shattered in a million pieces? Everything you thought to be true, everything you thought that was, actually isn't. or wasn't. So how do you move forward? Well, you can't press forward and act as though it didn't occur and move on as usual. You can't go in denial. You could try, but it will follow you and it will haunt you. It's not something you can just put away for later. That's impossible. Even if you manage to fake it till you make it, it's going to come up, and it will come up at the most inconvenient time. It will come up at the most inappropriate time. The initial shock, once the initial shock wears off, and the possible denial that you go through comes off, it goes into anger. You become very angry and confused. All these questions start coming up. Questions you want answers to. But a lot of times when you're dealing with a person with this situation of this magnitude, you will never get the answers. You may come close, but you will never get the absolute closure or the finality that you desperately seek so that you can heal. You've just been bamboozled. What do? You have just been bamboozled, conned by someone or something you thought was always going to be there, that was your heart. And in one fell swoop, it was all taken away. Everything spinning out of control faster than you can control it. And your instinct is to control it. It's to try to keep things going. It's to try to save it. It's to try to maintain. It's to try to get it back. But it's not going to come back. A lot of us are going through this now. There are people that I work with regularly, and I'm seeing it happen. Because of the world situation we're in, they're in shock. Now, there's a lot of questions they have. They feel foolish. They ignored all the signs. They ignored all the signs. Now we're in a situation in which a massive awakening is going to occur within you. How are you going to navigate this process? You've never navigated something like this before, this powerful. You are in total existential crisis mode. It's very, very important that you have your discernment, that you use it at this time. If you know anything about emotional manipulation, narcissism, and how the emotional manipulator works, they're very, very good because they're methodical. It's covert and completely planned. They don't show you who they are. They mimic what they think you need to see. So when you do find the reality, and usually it's once the person starts to feel comfortable or their ego gets inflated too big and they know that you've gone far with them, you're deep in it. Not just knee deep, but yay high. They may start to slip because of their ego. They lack the caring they once did to watch every moment. You can start to see it slip. And they begin to show you exactly who they are. This kind of thing is done on many levels. This time, this quarantine that we're going through for COVID-19 is a serious blessing in disguise for you to navigate this process, this awakening. It really is time for you to go within. It really is time for you to start asking important questions and discerning exactly what it is you're dealing with. But if you're not used to using your mind, if you don't know what discernment is and how to use discernment, a lot is going to happen to you and right in front of you, and you will never see it coming. You will be conned. You will be bamboozled. And when it befalls you, it will befall you, like I said, at an inopportune time. You must listen. Use your critical eye. Use the intuitive mind. You may say, how do I do that? How do I develop intuition? I don't have it, do I? Yes, we all do. We all do. It's that thing that's inside of you that alerts you to danger, that alerts you to something you resonate with, you feel it at a gut level. And let me remind you, the gut is a lot like a second brain. In fact, it rivals it, as well as the heart. The heart's intelligence is powerful. It knows, it feels. You see, we're energy. All things are energy. We have what's called a crown, the crown chakra. It's where we intuit information, direct information from a consciousness that is an energy that is living, that has information. Think of it as the universal form of the web. It's referred to as the book of life or the Akashic record. When you're open to that, you're able to utilize that for discernment. Right now, the important things to be considering is whether or not your life is in balance. How in balance has it been? And can you bring that balance back? Does it need a detox? In what ways do you need to declutter and detox? Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually? In what areas do you need to cast some judgment and make some informed and intelligent decisions using your discernment? Clarity through quarantine is about developing these things. It's about seeing what is real and healing what you have ignored. Pains, old grudges, old resentments, things that are poisoning you that were developed from past situations. You not only don't want to relive those things, and they are coming up because of what's being experienced. You want to heal these things once and for all. So when you move forward, you're moving forward from a place of strength, as a pillar of strength, a tower of strength. Do you have the ability to discern truth? Can you see it? How do you know when something is true? When the message you're receiving or the deliverer is bringing forth the message, whether that is truth or not. How do you discern it? Are you able to? And if you are, and you get this feeling, this strong, intuitive feeling, this strong, critical eye being able to pinpoint something that causes you to ask questions. Do you think you're able to take a second look, maybe even a third look, to be certain that what you're getting is in fact true, or what you're seeing is in fact true, what you're hearing is in fact true? It is through discernment that you can decipher these things. Through discernment. Particularly your spiritual discernment. Wisdom, knowledge, peace, understanding. This is a time where you want to build upon your very natural spiritual gifts, your natural talents, your skill sets, and you want to use them for service of some kind. You want to develop yourself into a leader for your life, for your family, for others. Can you discern what those gifts are? Do you know where to start? Do you know who to reach out to? Who to ask? Are you able to do those things alone? Or do you think you need guidance? When we come in contact with something that changes our entire existence, the way we see our lives, there is great fear in it. We no longer know who we are. We don't know where to place ourselves. We no longer really know what we believe. We think maybe we do. We have a feeling that maybe we do, but do we really? And why? Where did those beliefs come from? And I'm not just talking about religious beliefs, political beliefs. I'm talking about beliefs about yourself, beliefs about love, beliefs about friendship. Who gave them to you? Where did you get them? Can you discern what is true for you versus what is true for the world? Can you be in the world but not of it? These are important questions that we're to go inside ourselves and ask, if it were not for the gift of this time, it may be that you never would have had the opportunity to turn inward to even find out. So that you aren't trapped. You aren't imprisoned by lies, by falsehoods, by emotional manipulations, by frauds, fakes, inauthentic people, predators, energy vampires, people who just take from you, never giving back. How do you discern what to remove, what to put in, what to change, what needs fixing? How do you discern that within yourself? You've got to get mindful. You got to get thoughtful. Start going within. Start reflecting. What do you see when you make that attempt to search yourself over in the mirror? Who is staring back at you? Who? Do you have respect for that person? Do you love that person? Do you even like them? And if you don't, how can you? How can you make that trek? Well, it's this time where it is best fitting for you to start a journey, a spiritual quest, to get these answers. Because there are layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of things that you need to rip apart and open, piercing veils, so that you can step by step by step find the answers that were kept from you. Believe me, there's a lot of truths right now that's being exposed within people and relationships, about yourself, and about this world as a collective. You're being given the gift of time for discernment. Use your capacities for discernment. Couple them with your critical eye. Couple them with your intuitive capabilities. Strengthen those abilities within you. So when you see truth, it resonates. It resonates, shaking your whole body, within your bones, all over. Your DNA strand in of itself is a resonating piece of music. Just like every planet, just like every animal, every rock even. The very stones would cry out to the universe, regardless if we were here or not. So how do you discern the truth of yourself, the truth of your friends, your relationships, the world around you, and what the truth is? Because there's a great awakening happening. You're being called to listen to your life. What is being said? You never would have stopped to listen if you had continued on the rat race you were on before. It would never have even occurred to you exactly how much has been stuffed away, how much has been hidden, how much has been manipulated. The shock and the pain of all of it is really hitting people hard. There's going to be dark nights of the souls like you don't like never before. You may be on your dark night of the soul right now, feeling like you don't know where you fit. You don't know what's happening on this planet. You don't know why it's happening. Who's causing it? What's causing it? Who you are and what your role is right now. You have to unmask all the layers down to the common denominator. Strip yourself of everything. At the heart of things, what do you discern? Who do you discern that you are? Who do you claim to be? Are you a source of light for others? Or do you serve to take from others emotionally, financially, physically, whatever the case may be? This is an opportune time for you to change, for you to have a second chance and do it right. Who do you want to be? What is it you see? Who do you discern yourself to be? Who do you discern this world to be? Who do you discern your partner to be? How does it all correlate? And what is the greater significance? You know, when you start to dig for truth, more questions come up and begin to unfold. It's a rabbit hole of never-ending questions. While you strip away all the BS to get to the heart, to get to the seed of truth. Digging past all the gunk. Cleaning out the trash, cleaning out the clutter, so that it's clean, simple, pure, straightforward. So how can you utilize your discernment in this time? How can you use it to see the ultimate truth about yourself and this world, the collective, your family, and your mission? What's your mission? It's your purpose in life. It's the purpose that is written on your DNA strand. You're coded with it. It's already there. It's your will. It's the will for you. So what does that look like? Is it time for you to go in search of it? Because I think so. I really think so. So my friends, I want you to ask, how can you discern the truth of things right now? The truth of who you are, who you're with, the collective around you. Discern the life you've lived, the role you've played, the stakes you've played, the risks you took. And what are you going to do about it now? What are you going to do about it now? Not somebody else. It has to be you. It has to be you. It's a complete inside job. It has to be you. You have to be the one that steps up. And step up in a big way. A big way. You have to step up and boss up, glow up, grow up, rise up in a way you have never before. With the mindset, with the courage, with the wisdom, with the critical eye, with the discernment, like never before. Like never before. In search of it. In search of the truth of things. In search of the truth of things. Hot? Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. So it looks like I'm hot. Yeah. So tonight I want you to practice your discernment. I want you to reflect on what is truth. Do you think you can see it? Can you catch lies? If somebody were to lie to you, emotionally manipulate you, would you be able to see it? And how would you handle such a thing? How would you handle it? Would you handle it with strength, or would you fall apart? Would you see it with clarity, or would you try to run and hide, stick your head in the sand? Are you looking at things clearly, or are you looking at things with rose-colored glasses? Honestly. Are you capable of accepting and surrendering to what is true, no matter how hard it may be, no matter how harsh it may be? How dependent are you on this paradigm, what you thought was actually happening? How dependent on the idea of the life you thought was real, that you thought existed? How dependent are you on that? Because if it were to shatter, would you really be strong enough to bounce back and accept it and release it? Could you? I really want you to think about this, because, my dears, there is nothing but illusion all over the place. The only thing real is what's inside. Take off your mask. Have you been walking around wearing a mask, not showing who you are authentically, at your purest self, who you really are, who the people are around you? Who are they? Who are they? Do they resonate with you? Do they belong with you? And I want you to question what you think the reality of our society actually is. Do you really think you know? And if you do, where did you think you got your information from? Who gave it to you? Who gave it to you? Who gave you the answers? Did you cross-reference? Did you question? Did you seek? Did you dig deep? Well, did you? Or did you just passively accept everything that you believe about yourself, about life, about the people in your life, about the reality of the world? Where did you get all of your information? Were you indoctrinated, or did you teach yourself? Did you research it yourself, or did somebody hand it to you and tell you, take it, and you just took it like that, trusted it? No problem. If you did, you better look again. You better take a second look. Because nothing is as it seems. Nothing is as nothing is ever as it seems. It's not. And if you think you can tell yourself that it is, and you're fooling yourself, then you don't need somebody to emotionally manipulate you. You don't need a narcissist in your life, because you would be already lying and deceiving yourself, which in fact you might be doing if you're living in denial, if you're hiding, pretending. So my loves, you better use this time wisely. You better use this time to find out not only who you are, what your role is, what you've been versus what you want to be, what the world is versus the reality of it, who you're with and the reality of who they actually are versus who they show you to be. Because there's a lot of mask wearing. It's time to take it off and be real, be as authentic and true as you truly are. It's only then that you will have the key. Using your discernment. Using your discernment. Being able to be a good judge of character, a good judge of a situation, a good judge of yourself. Can you be objective when it comes to truth? Because there are personal truths, there are objective truths, there are scientific truths. It isn't just my truth. Can you discern what reality is and what's real from the fraud, from the fake? Because there's a lot of disillusionment. The world is cloaked in it. And you have to be of a particular caliber to see it, to dig through it, to look past it. You really do. Our crown chakra is highlighted these days. It's part of our energy system called the chakra system. It's our energetic system. This virus, it's called the corona, right? What is the corona? It's part of the eye, right? It's that layer around the sun. It's the crown. Right now, these things are being highlighted and how you balance it out. Balance. Detoxifying yourself. Cleansing your mind. Cleansing your spirit. Cleansing your body temple so that you are strong in your immune system. So that you can be immune to lies, immune to falsehoods, immune to getting sick. What is getting sick? It's a dis-ease, a body not at ease, a body out of resonance. It's dissonance. It's distortion. So when you take the time to go within, when you take that time to get mindful, you can feel and see, using your discernment, when something is completely false in front of you. You can't resonate with it. You'll be out of alignment. There's a dissonance. Because you're tuned in now. You've tuned in. When you're tuned in, it's very hard to not see things with clarity, to see things clearly. And that's what's highlighted right now. Seeing things clearly. as you've never seen them before, seeing the truth of things and accepting it. Not just seeing it, but accepting the truth of things, no matter how ugly, no matter how harsh. Accepting that your life will never be the same. You will never be the same. Life as you know it has changed forever. From here on out. That reality has been shattered and broken down. Now it's time to rebuild. Rebuild from a place of discernment. A place of using your intuitive capabilities, your critical mind. Tuning in, focusing in, honing in on what is true. Nobody else can tell you. You can't just lay back and accept. It has to be something you do, that you go in search of. That's just far too much trust. And just because you may have 100 people saying something, it does not make it true. In fact, throughout history, it's been proven that groups of the masses have mostly been wrong. So just because a group may be doing something doesn't mean it's right, does it? Start using your discernment about the world around you. Start taking off masks, piercing through veils, understanding what is actually occurring versus what you're being told is occurring. There's emotional manipulation. Think about how a narcissist works. The emotional manipulation that goes on for a very long time. And they're very patient. And once they know you fully, they really know what to do. It's very important that you take responsibility for what you know to be true about your reality. Use your discernment. Make that your top priority. Look at things always with discernment so that you can make good judgment calls. Right now, we just went through the full moon, super moon in Libra, right? And Libra is all about balance, justice and balance. It's about making a judgment call. It's a wake-up call. It's a massive, powerful wake-up call. And you have to make a choice. You have a decision that you must make about how you're moving forward, about how you're going to change, how you are going to see the truth of things, the reality of your situation in life, the realities of the world that's occurring. And should you choose to see the realities without accepting what others give you, what others tell you, but taking upon yourself to know who you're dealing with in love, who you're dealing with in partnerships, in business, and what you're dealing with in the world around you. It is your responsibility to step up, step out as a leader in your world, in your life, a leader in your family, and a leader for others. You find that truth, you go seek it like you've never went in search of anything else before. Because it will reveal everything you need to know about your role, who you are, what you need to be doing, what your purpose is, what kind of relationship you should be in. And the realities of the life around you, and having to accept it. Acceptance is when freedom comes, when you accept. And I understand a lot of you are going to be going through huge dark nights of the soul, huge confusion, huge existential crises. If that is the case, you may contact me. I will help you through that process. I understand that process well. I work with a lot of people going through that. If this is a relationship, an emotionally abusive one, you may contact me for that as well. I am available to you. You can contact me by email at thespiritualbusiness@thesacredraven.coach. You can also leave me a message here on the Facebook page here at Spiritual Business Coach. Because I know many of us are going through this existential crisis. You're lost. Dark nights of the soul befalling you. You're going through this powerful spiritual awakening. You have no idea what's going on. And it's scary. It's scary because now a new reality has emerged and the old one is gone. The old you has to go. I love you all very much. Please consider this. Keep your journals. And I want you to sit down and write a letter to your past saying goodbye. Releasing it. Say goodbye to your old self. Say goodbye to the pains of the past. And go in search of a new you with a new vision. In search of the truth of our reality in our world. Utilize your discernment. Be very smart. Okay. And with that, I'm going to let you go. All right. If you want to, it would be amazing if you could be a part of this community here. All you have to do is like the page. You can also find me at Sacred Ambitions as well. And you can go and check in and like over there, where every 2 weeks during the full and new moon, we do a journal prompt session and quality of life discussion and more. And I help coach people through some of their deepest emotional crises out of relationships that were emotionally abusive, and through the spiritual awakening processes, and help them get to a place where they can find emotional freedom, financial freedom, in utilizing their own spiritual gifts and creating something beautiful that they can put out in the world and feel proud of. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye, and I will see you tomorrow for day 7 of Clarity Through Quarantine, the Journeying with Jamie series, in association with Abby Ola Abrams Lightworkers Video Challenge. All right. I love you all. Mwah. Remember, you can reach me at spiritualbusiness@thesacredraven.coach. You can find me at spiritualbusiness.as.me if you'd like to have a session. I love you. Everybody's in my prayers as always. Always. And remember, use your discernment. Only you will find the truth. It's not going to be given to you. It never will. The truth doesn't get handed to you. It's only for those who go after it. And with that truth comes freedom, comes your purpose in life.
I love you, and I will see you all soon.